Why the red pill is extremely cancerous. Red pill has gone so far to the point where now it's basically feminism, but just for men. So we can call it meninism, right? Red pill, this path has been hijacked now because red pill used to be about truth. Obviously, within the matrix where this reference comes from is the blue pill versus the red pill. The blue pill is blissful ignorance, right? Living in lies and deceit versus the red pill, which is seeing the raw truth as it is. Although the truth might be hurtful, seeing it as it is and living by that truth. Now, what's going on today is that there's been people both on YouTube, Instagram, these different social media platforms who have essentially sensationalized the, in quotes, red pill, where now these men have gone so far to the right, or so far to the, in quotes, red pill side, that now they think they have this pessimistic viewpoint when it comes to women. And really think about this, right? One thing that you learn when studying the subconscious mind is that the subconscious mind runs a majority of your thoughts. So I believe it's about 90 to 95% of your thoughts derive from the subconscious mind, meaning that it's below your consciousness, right? So the thoughts that you think in your head, the voice that you can hear in your own mind, that's your consciousness. So that's where about 5% of your thoughts come from versus 90 to 95% of your thoughts come from your subconscious mind, which is below the conscious, right? So what you end up learning about the subconscious mind is that it gets programmed throughout your childhood, throughout your traumatic experiences, throughout different things, right? And when you have particular beliefs, those beliefs get ingrained into your subconscious mind, and everything that you see throughout this world is first passed through your subconscious mind. Now, imagine having such a pessimistic viewpoint, whether it's with women, whether it's with life, whether it's with capitalism, whether it's with America, whatever the case may be. What you think about, you attract. So if your main dominant thoughts are negativity, if your main dominant thoughts that women are pieces of shit and women are conniving, what kind of reality do you think you're going to be living in? Rather than saying, it doesn't mean be naive and take the naive approach and assume everybody's great and I'm just going to think positive woo woo and fucking cupcake. That's not what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is that once again, what you think about, you bring about. So the way that you see the world is the way that you see yourself. So if you see everything as potentially conniving, what does that really say about yourself? So when it comes down to your main dominant thoughts, and if you're continuously thinking that women are negative, when you do meet women that you potentially like, you're going to be continuously playing defense, right? And truly think about what kind of life is that to live. Like, if you continuously think the world is out to get you in all echelons, do you really think you're going to live a satisfied life? And what kind of life do you think you're going to attract by thinking that way? So the red pill has gone so far that literally says, like, these guys are out here, some of these dudes out here saying, prioritize sex or have a high body count. Like, I've heard somebody say before, like, get 50 body counts before you get married, right? Like, dude, who the fuck is coming up with this random ass bullshit? Like, do you really think, that's almost like me saying, before you eat healthy, go and eat 50 Snickers, right? Just so you can get a taste of the sugariness and of all that high fructose. We know that that shit is not fucking good for you. So why would you preach to men to do things that are degenerate? Why would you preach to men to do things that aren't going to be good for them other than seeking pleasures? Because all what happens when you seek a short-term pleasure, it just leaves you fucking empty. Now think about this. Think about all the times that you've sought short-term pleasure. Whether it's sleeping with a girl for a one-night stand, you met with a girl at a party and you slept with her, met up with a girl and made out with her. Sure, you maybe felt good for about 5 minutes, but typically when you wake up the next morning, you typically really regret it. Now, remember, your consciousness is your guideline. So your regret is your guideline. So if you do sleep with these random women and the next day you feel like a piece of shit, well, maybe that's your higher consciousness telling you something. Now, what do I mean by higher consciousness, right? We can go down to the spirituality aspect of it. And here's another thing that I can also say as well is that another big issue that the red pill has gone so far and so polarized is that a lot of these red pill guys have been polarized into the masculine side. Now, what I mean by that is that they're extremely logical. Now, there's laws of the universe, right? And one of them is the law of polarity, the law of duality, both the same thing. Or some of the Asian cultures, right? The yin and yang. Obviously, the white side and the black side. Everybody knows that. Or maybe I'll put up a picture on the YouTube video. But there's a law of polarity, right? So you have to understand too be your best self, you have to be at an equilibrium between your masculine and your feminine. Now, obviously, as a man, you're going to be much more masculine than you are feminine. Now, here's the two differences, right? I'll give you a direct example. Masculine is logical, right? 2 + 2 = 4, right? It's like very analytical, like an analog, right? I almost said feminism. Feminine nature or femininity, right? Although it is typically attached to women, just as masculinity is attached to men, is that it's also important that we have a feminine side within us as well. Now, it doesn't mean be girly and paint your nails pink. What I mean by being feminine, right, is thought, imagination, dreaming, right? Those are all things that are spiritual, right? Why do you think all these women are always talking about what's your fucking star sign? What do the constellations say? And contrary to what you may believe, actually there was a lot of the intelligent minds within the past. We're talking about intelligent minds, extremely intelligent minds of the past, talk about how astrology is actually vitally important to like understanding our universe. So it's funny that these like red pill dudes are always shitting on astrology. Now, to be fair, I used to be like that. I remember like 4 years ago, I used to be like, shut the fuck up with all that astrology bullshit. I don't care about that shit, right? It's a bunch of bullshit. It's not logical, right? You're fucking talking fallacies and foo-foo. But come to find out, and it's funny, the more that you learn, the more that you actually learn that you don't know a lot of shit. Like, you think you know a bunch of shit. Back when I was in high school, I used to thought I was Mr. Atheist, right? Like, yeah, you know, if there was a fucking all-good God, why would he allow bad things to happen to you? But that was because I was coming from a very ignorant standpoint, and I was coming from hurt. But as I began to study, and I began to not only get life experience, but seek out mentors and seek out people who have been highly successful so I can also attain that success myself. And also done a lot of studying on my own, whether it's through like YouTube videos, but in particular, really good, knowledgeable, deep knowledgeable books. And especially some of these books that they call hidden knowledge or knowledge from like deep cultural pasts, like some of these Egyptian knowledge. There's this one book, really good book called Hermetica. I highly suggest you pick up. Also another one called The Kabbalion, and you'll really see what I'm talking about. But my point to this is that the more that you learn, the more that you understand that you don't know a lot of shit. And your ignorance kind of gets, you know, you kind of begin to really see your ignorance, and you're not so like, you know, you don't have to hold on to acting like you know everything so much, because there's so much information out there, and there's so many things that we haven't even discovered that, you know, why try and hold on to one particular viewpoint, right? And everybody's mentality must always be about the truth. That's all that really matters at the end of the day, right? So like, rather than trying to defend a bias, how about we get down to the fucking truth? So I don't care whether you're a feminist, I don't care whether you're a fucking lib, right? Or whether you're a conservative, whatever it may be, right? Let's just talk about any particular debate and think about any particular topics. I don't really care about picking a side. I don't. Maybe I do have these unconscious biases, sure. However, my point in every single discussion, and so should yours, must always be coming down to the truth. All the time. And this also goes along with some of the relationships, right? The relationships that you get into, you're going to have instances and moments where you have disagreements, right? And in all reality, a really strong relationship isn't a strong relationship without actual true disagreement, because every single individual has their own experiences and their own thoughts and their own backgrounds, and you're not going to always agree with every single thing another person says. And if you act as though, then you're more than likely not fully comfortable with that person. Like, you have to understand that things will come up within your relationships that will turn into disagreements where you still feel like saying fuck you to whoever your good friend is or good family member is. But you have to understand that maybe there's some perspective that you haven't picked up yourself. Maybe there's a piece of information that they think that you don't think, but therefore you're coming up to your own conclusions. But this is why having communication and also discussing with them to come down to the truth is what's the most important, right? Now going back to the original topic. There is truth to astrology. Now, to what degree, I have no idea. I'm not saying that the typical astrology, you know, oh, you're a Leo, so that means you have a big dick, or oh, you're a Leo, you know, whatever, X, Y, and Z. But I would say truly open your mind to any possibility. Now, that once again, it doesn't mean be ignorant, but what it means is that be open to information, because why would you pick to be so biased? So when new information that's truthful, right, 100% truthful is shown to you, why would you not want to alter your belief? Now, if you don't, that's just a straight sign that you're picking a bias. You're picking an ignorant belief. You're picking a fallacy rather than wanting to come down to the truth, right? So this is why I think the red pill space has gone way too polarized. There's these guys who are in the red pill space that are like literally just saying random shit to like make views, to like say, like for example, there's this one older gentleman in the red pill space that says get a vasectomy, right? Like literally cut off your line in your balls that makes sperm, and that's what makes you a high value man. Truly think about this. And the hilarious part is that a lot of the people in the red pill space talk about, oh yeah, freeze your, or these women getting so pissed at women, and oh, these feminists want to just fucking freeze their eggs to have kids way later. Well, motherfucker, how can you not tie that to the same thing as a man getting a vasectomy and then calling that high value, right? Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. And it's because it doesn't make any sense. And it's a biased fucking viewpoint. So this is what I mean about having an open mind and seeing the red pill bullshit as it is. And the red pill used to be about truth, coming down to the truth. But now that's kind of disappeared. Now it's about defending a bias and getting more views, getting more clicks. So this is why it's important that you must always, although there's people that you can admire and people that you can look up to and people who have given you good information within the past that was truthful, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything they're saying is 100% truthful. But what's the most important thing is that you look at their true intentions, right? Like, this guy who's giving me information, does he benefit off of what I'm saying? Like, what is his true intentions behind why he's saying what he's saying, right? Like, does he have a product that talks about, that's shitting on women, right? Does he have a giant bias towards, having a bunch of other conversations about shitting on women, right? And if he does, it's kind of like, hey, is this guy maybe particularly biased towards not liking women? And truthfully, right, a lot of the red pill, what it really is, it's like a bunch of hurt men. Now, I totally understand because there is a lot of truth to red pill, and there's a lot of times where especially westernized women or women within America and these different, neighboring countries, whatever the case may be, have become very masculine. They have become very degenerate, and they have become very promiscuous, 100%. You can look at some of my short form content on my Instagram and on my YouTube shorts. I go out and I've interviewed women on the street, and it's obvious that a lot of these women are promiscuous. But that doesn't mean that every single woman is promiscuous, right? It doesn't mean that every single woman is brainwashed. It doesn't mean that every single woman is a feminist. In fact, fucking guys share the similar equivalent fucking blame. Dude, these guys are soft as fuck. These guys haven't been convinced not to be masculine. So just to the same degree we have masculine women, we also have fucking feminized men. So this is what I mean about taking fucking responsibility in the goddamn red pill space, right? Is that a lot of these red pill men only want to look and point the finger at women, but they never want to take accountability and look at themselves. And let me tell you fucking this, the only way that you're ever going to truly solve your problems within your life is by taking full fucking accountability for it. So if you're continuously playing victim, and if you're continuously pointing the finger at everybody else, that's what you're going to fucking be, a victim, right? And this goes for everything. It doesn't matter what it is. But in particular, when it comes down to women, ask yourself, why do I continuously attract shitty ass women? Why am I continuously attracting women who fucking cheat on me? Why am I continuously attracting women who are promiscuous? Now let me ask myself this. Where am I finding these women at? Typically these girlfriends that I'm getting, I find them at the bars. I find them on the street in front of a fucking club. I found them in fucking deep in Mexico at some random ass club, right? I found her at a strip club. She was a stripper and then she breaks my heart. Like, dude, what the fuck do you expect? Now, you have to ask yourself, just as it is with networking, right? You have to ask yourself, the type of person that I want to correlate with, whether it's with a girlfriend, a woman, or other men, or to network with high value men, right? If we're going to call it that, or high caliber men, is we have to ask ourselves, for the ideal type of person that I want to create a relationship with, where are they going to be at? What do these people do? Like, are they going to coffee shops? Are they going surfing all the time? Are they going to clubs all the time? Are they going to strip clubs and throwing ones? And you have to ask yourself, right? Where are these people staying? And therefore you begin to congregate yourself around those areas as well. What I can guarantee you, high value women or women who of are of a pure nature, they're not going to be at the fucking club, right? Although maybe there's probably exceptions to the rule. There's probably some women who rarely go out and you maybe find one, but that's going to be much more rare, and that shouldn't be something that you ever should really expect, right? And you have to be able to judge a woman based off her character. And also what's really important as well is that you look at her family. Like you look at her father, what's her relationship with her father like? And also what's her relationship with her parents and her siblings, right? Because that's going to directly correlate with you. And obviously at the very beginning in any relationship, there's always the honeymoon phase. You're both excited that you're dating. It's super lit. You're only showing your best sides of each other. But then you can directly see how she treats people that she's in long-term relationships with by seeing how her relationship is with her parents or with her siblings, right? Because that's more than likely going to be a very similar relationship she's going to have with you. But obviously your relationship's going to be more intimate, right? So my point is that there's more things to look at these women and judge them if they're actually a good fit for you. Because in all reality, our biology is wired to mate. Our biology is wired to go and find a woman, have sex with her, and have a kid. That's really one of the end goals, and that's the exact reason why we're fucking here. Because our parents found each other, our parents ended up having sex, and our parents ended up having us. So what a disgrace for you not to carry that on, to not carry the torch on, right? And we can even talk about it's your duty as a man to break all your generational curses and also excel your family lineage. But my point with this is that not all women are bad. Not all women are bad, and not all women are pieces of shit. There's actually very good women. There's beautiful women, very feminine women, and there's women out there that will actually massively add to your life. But it's just a matter of making yourself a desirable man, making yourself a man that attracts those type of women, and then you can experience that life. But I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to watch more videos like this, be sure to click on this one. This is one of the first videos that I've done of this, so if you like videos like this, be sure to leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought. Also, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, like anything personal, whatever it may be, I'm always super down to answer it and post another video. But until then, I'll catch you guys next. Peace out.